Hello everybody, my name is Robert and this is Bite Size Clue, and today we are here at the Ideal Home Show 2024. For the last 116 years, this show has played host to some of the biggest and best names in home tech, and today we're going to check some of it out. Let's go. And we're in. This is going to be a pretty big and busy show. There is so much to see and do here, but why don't we start with the dream house in the background here. Basically, the dream house, unlike Barbie's dream house, is not bright pink and plastic. It actually has some of the best items that you can actually purchase here at the show, all in one place, so you can get some ideas of how perhaps you might want your house. Let's go and have a look. So straight away, as we're walking along, we've got bits for garden along this side. This is all of the garden section. We've also got sofas and that sort of thing. Not particularly the stuff that we're interested in here. Of course, we are interested in the tech. We can see the dream house right along at the end there. And there's some really exciting stuff in there, from things like projectors and sound systems, all the way to a podcasting room, apparently. But who needs one of those in their house? I don't know. And before we've even got into the house, there's already a bit of tech that I love here, and that is this guy. This is basically like a robotic vacuum cleaner, but instead it grooms your lawns. It's the one job that I cannot stand doing, so this thing really interests me. It is the AutoCut. They have a few different models. This is their Premier model, but it seems to be doing a pretty good job. Unlike some things like robotic vacuum cleaners, it's not actually using LiDAR. What it's doing is, around the outside of the perimeter, we've got little magnets which basically tell it where it can and cannot go. Okay, so here we are in what I would assume is going to be the study. We've got this pretty funky looking chair, but perhaps the most interesting thing in this room is this. This is the StudyBed. It is exactly what it sounds like. It is a bed that can be lifted up to study whenever you need to. This feels like a really great thing, particularly for office spaces where you don't have a ton of room. We've got a child on the way, so I need the space for a bed, but also having an office space is super useful as well. This is the Osim gaming chair. There's something quite special about this one though, and that is it is the world's first massaging gaming chair. Basically, we've got this little control panel on the arm here, and what it allows you to do is to massage different parts of your back. So we can see here that we've got two balls on the back of the chair, similar to the standalone devices that you can get, but this is built directly into the chair. Okay, so we're here in the children's bedroom, and one of the interesting pieces is this. This is the Shark NeverChange 5. It's an air purifier, but what's slightly different about it is, unlike many of the other air purifiers on the market where you have to change your filters every 6 months to a year, this can last up to 5 years, mainly because of these little panels on the side that can just come straight out. These can be cleaned just with a damp cloth, like you normally would. And making sure that these are nice and clean means that your main filter can last up to 5 years. That's a pretty good value proposition, I'd say. If tech really wasn't your style though, you could just take in some of the decor around the dream house, and there was a lot of it. This was one of the many bedrooms. They also had this absolutely stunning bathroom. I don't think I could ever pull it off in my property. My property is a little bit too old for this kind of style, but still incredibly beautiful. Smart oven, and it is incredibly smart. Barring the display along the front here, which allows us to set temperatures and times for very particular products like chicken and cakes, it also has a smart cleaning function, and perhaps what I like the most is when opening the door, it actually retracts fully into the oven so that you're not knocking your leg against it as you walk past. Great for space-saving kitchens, I'd say. So what's fun with this NEFF Smart Display Oven is actually there are a few different types of modes that we can be in. Let's try out the meals here, and we can see a few different options. For example, let's say we were cooking chicken. So we go into the poultry mode, we'd choose chicken, and then we can choose an unstuffed chicken, a whole chicken. Let's say we're cooking a whole chicken. Tapping that, it shows you the temperatures that it's going to go to, how long it's going to cook for. We can also give it some additional information and save it to our favourites. So let's call it, well, chicken. This is the Ninja stackable air fryer, and now I love my air fryer, as I'm sure most people do. What's impressive about this one is pulling it out, there are actually two fully individual zones in here. So for example, you could have your chips in one and your chicken in the other, and you can have them set for different temperatures at different times. A nice simple dial along the front here. We can reheat products, we can dehydrate them, we can prove them. This is a must-have for any kitchen. If you don't own an air fryer, I can highly recommend it. Alongside the NEFF oven was this rather smart hob top, which was smart for a few major reasons. The first one being this splash board at the back here that can be brought up and down automatically with the little buttons here, and it's also incredibly quiet. Like normally extractor fans are super noisy, this one simply wasn't. Also, what's quite clever is when placing a pan down, it will work out where that pan is and only heat where it needs to. For example, here it would only be heating the top left, now it would be heating the centre. Now this is something that I think all houses should have. I am of course being a little bit ironic here. This is a podcasting room, and actually it's pretty spacious. I like it. Honestly, if I had the space for one and I was doing a podcast, I would probably want a space like this. We've got space for about 3 microphones, we've got the mixing board down here, and these panels are some of my favourite things. If I could, I would have a whole room dressed in these panels. This is another one of Shark's products. This one's pretty interesting. It is a handheld hoover, but unlike many of the other handheld standing hoovers on the market, this one actually empties itself into the base here. And what that allows you to do is to not have to empty it every single time. You'll only need to empty it every 3 or 4 months by simply just pulling the back off like so. It also has a mop, so there is a way for you to add additional features to it, but I like these kinds of hoovers. They are always useful, and being handheld is a definite advantage. Okay, so we are here in the cinema room, and we're with the Sofology sofa, but there's something very special about this sofa, and that is that it's a smart sofa. So what's so smart about it? Well, we have a section in the back here for all your drinks, and this can be cooled and heated to whatever temperature you would need it to be, and that's all done through the panel on the front here. We have somewhere where you can wirelessly charge your phone or other devices. You've also got cup holders, but on this side you've got some USB-C charging, so you can charge your phone and do whatever you need to, and also recline and decline the chair. If you come with me and take a look behind, we've got one of the Epson laser projectors here. And these are some of my favourite pieces of technology. I love a laser projector, mainly because of how close it can get to the wall and still get this nice big picture. One tech trend this year at the show that I really wasn't expecting was these guys, air conditioners. In the UK, it's very rare to see air conditioners. I just don't understand why they had such a big presence at the show this year. And of course, as the weather's getting warmer, now is the perfect time to start thinking about things like barbecues and outdoor pizza ovens and grills. Because, I mean, as the weather's getting nicer, you may as well. Opening it up, we've got a few things along the front here in terms of lighting different parts of the grill. So this side could be slightly cooler, this side could be slightly warmer, depending on what you need to do. So now we are done in the dream house. We are now looking at some of the outdoor gear. This kind of stuff is what I'm interested in. These are basically outdoor workrooms. They could be gyms, they could be offices, they could even be a bar. Zoe, can I get away with it being a bar? She's shaking her head. No, I don't think it's going to happen. So this would be something very good for an outdoor office. If you come and have a look just over this way, you can see just the size, the sheer size of it, and just how nice they really can look. I would be really interested in getting something like this, so it's definitely on my list of things to buy very soon. So this is the AutoCut that we saw earlier, a little bit closer up, and it gives you a little bit of a better idea. If you come and have a look at the wheels here, they are incredibly big and incredibly large, meaning that it's not going to get stuck on any of the rocks and other things that you may find in your garden. There is some free installation, so if you were interested in getting something like this, you'd be looking at around the £1,000 to £2,000 mark. Now that is quite a lot for something like a lawnmower. However, robotic ones are pretty special, and I like it. One major home interior trend is these wood veneer panels. They don't only look great, but they're also very good for sound dampening.
There was even a mention of AI at this year's show. I was kind of hoping there wouldn't be. There was also the Super Theatre where you could go to watch some shows. This one was a gardening show, which I found particularly interesting.
Okay, so here we are with what I think is one of the coolest pieces of fitness tech in the most recent years. This is the Magic Smart Mirror. I don't know if you remember, a little while ago I had something called the Vaha. That was also a smart mirror, but that was on the rather pricey side. You were looking at close to £2,000. This guy will set you back about £1,000, but the best bit is there is no monthly cost. Once you've paid off the mirror, it's yours. What's really nice about it as well is it uses AI technology to be able to teach you whether you have proper form or not. So let's go ahead and take a look at one of these exercises. For example, as we scroll down, we could choose a... let's go with a squat. I'm going to put this camera in my phone down here and we'll show you what it can do. These are the Magic Smart Weights. These are particularly clever, especially if you need a little bit of space saving. So what you can do is you choose the weight you need by simply twisting the handle and pulling out. For example, there, I've taken 6 kg of weight. Drop it back down, and we can go all the way up to, wow, quite far, 32 kg of weight. Not even going to attempt that, but brilliant for space saving.
Ninja and Shark were also here showing off some of their homeware applications. This is the Creami. Basically, it can turn anything that you want into ice cream. It's been a bit of a TikTok sensation recently, and I must admit it did look pretty cool, but at around £200, I just don't think I could justify it, however cool it is. This was another of their air fryers. This one, however, was stackable, which meant it takes up a little less space in your kitchen. Mark2, the local e-bike specialist, were here showing off some of their new bikes, as well as some other bikes that you can purchase. Some of these were incredibly cool. These were much smaller, so meant that you could really travel with these easily. There were also some super big wheeled ones, and one that I'll show you in a second that has actually been designed by himself. Basically, it's a cross between a mountain bike and a city bike. You can see it there. Here is that Fat Tire E movement. It comes in the green and the pink. They call it red, but it's definitely a pink. I still love it. It looks incredibly bold in its colour, and I just love a thick wheeled bike. Here is that hybrid bike, that hybrid between a mountain bike and a city bike. It looks really nice. It's got slightly thicker tyres than you'd normally find on a city bike, but you don't have any of the suspension or additional extras that you'd find on something like a mountain bike. There's that battery. It's pretty small and lightweight, and overall the whole bike was pretty small and lightweight. Cooker were here showing off their taps. These are the taps that can do water, boiling, sparkling, chilled, all of that, but they are super expensive.
So we've had a pretty good day so far, but I think this section's more my style. Okay, so here we are on the smart home tech stage, and we've got quite a lot of stuff. We're starting off on the outside of the house here. In terms of cameras and protection, we've got the Eufy systems here. These are very, very good systems and have pretty low costs as well compared to something like a Ring, where their prices just seem to be going up and up and up. In terms of doorbells, we don't have the conventional Ring because, again, those prices just keep going up and up and up. So what we've got instead is the Emu. This looks like a really solid choice for a camera. It's got a nice big sensor and it's pretty cheap as well. Then we move on to the Smart Lock. This is the simplified Smart Lock. What's interesting about it is if you come a little bit closer, you can take a look here and we can see both fingerprint sensing. So all you'd need to do is tap your fingerprint to unlock the door, or you could use the simple codes that show up on the screen as well. It's completely up to you. Okay, now we're in the living room, and this is the Eufy X10. It's a robotic vacuum cleaner and mop, very similar to many of the others that you'll get on the market. But this one is also self-emptying. We can see that here. And we can see also there's spaces for putting clean water and dirty water. So as soon as it's mopped your floors, it's going to come back here and dump all your dirty water back into this tank, ready for you to remove it and start again. It's pretty small and lightweight as well from the looks of it, so this is definitely something that I'd be interested in taking a look at. Now we are in the living room, and this is the HT-AX7 by Sony. It looks to be a pretty standard looking speaker. Let's move that out of the way. We've got your bass unit here and your two tweeters, but what's pretty impressive about it is we can simply remove them from the base, place them anywhere we need to in the room, for example, each side of the table to get a slightly wider field, and that's it. You're now going to have all of your bass coming from the main unit here, alongside your two other channels coming from these units, which can be placed anywhere. And then as soon as you're done, placing it back on to charge. Simple. So occasionally when I come to these shows, I see tech that just makes me go, why? And this is one of them. This is LG's new fridge, and as you can see, you've got this nice blue and green colorway. These are actually LED panels, so these can change color based upon what you would want. I don't get it, I don't know why you'd want it, and I don't really see an advantage to it. Opening it up, it looks like a pretty normal fridge, and I think it is pretty normal. I mean, it's massive, it's an American style, but I just don't fully understand the color choices here. We took a look at these earlier. These were very, very similar ovens to the ones before, with the smart display on the top, which allows you to cook foods to how you would like. For example, we can go ahead and take a look at some of the different options here. Taking a look along this side, we have got coffee machines, we have got a bit of everything. We had a look at this one earlier. This is the Ninja AirFryer, which is 2-layer. This is fun. This is basically a coffee machine for cocktails. You place it on top, or your alcohol's on the side here. So for example, you'd have vodka in one, gin in another, tequila in another. You then get these flavored pods, which simply sit on the top. Tapping the button, it will start to dispense the correct amount of alcohol and all of the correct flavorings for the drink that you require. So here we've got a range of different tech that you may already know of. For example, the Google Home Hub here, as well as a few of Anker's lovely speakers. What's interesting though is this guy. Obviously this looks like a pretty normal Quest 2 headset, but these, however, are not normal. These are the Valkyrie ERI. These are basically VR muscle stimulators. You use them while you're working out. They have little metal pads in the middle here. I don't know if you can see those. And what they'll do is they go on your biceps and triceps, and as you're working out, will give you muscular feedback to both enhance the workout and make it feel like you're really lifting weights. It's pretty clever stuff. So here we are in the gym. There's a few nice bits of tech here. This is the Echelon Reflect. It's very, very similar to the Magic that we saw earlier and the Vaha I've already got. This is Echelon's version, so looks a little bit nicer, and I don't believe has the same AI smarts that all the other mirrors do. This guy is the Trainer Plus. I'm not going to touch it too much. I'm not going to play with it too much because I don't really know how it works. But basically, these bars you can lift and do your normal bicep and tricep curls. You can pull it above over your head, and it will add resistance based upon how much you want through simply these wires here that go into the base. I want to have a play with this. I don't know whether they'll let me. Let's see. And there we have it. It has been a pretty jam-packed day. We have seen so much stuff, and it's been some pretty cool stuff as well. Why don't you let me know some of your favourite stuff that we've seen today in the comment section down below. And of course, while you're there, get subscribed, share it with your friends, and all of that sort of stuff. My name's been Robert. This has been Bite Size Clue, and I will catch you in the next one. Adios.